ever been to paradise?
Hey y'all, and hola. I'm Silvia, and you're listening to the Paradise City podcast, where the grass is green. Being an Austin, Texas-based show, there's a lot that I can tell y'all when it comes to what I enjoy about the city. But one of the greatest sources of joy is undoubtedly the live music scene. You might be inclined to think of other major cities and their renowned music scenes, each undoubtedly impressive and significant in its own right. However, Austin's live music scene has a unique springtime spectacle, South by Southwest. While South by Southwest has grown to encompass film, interactive media, and a whirlwind of panels and parties, at its core, it was born out of a celebration of music and continues attracting artists and fans alike to discover new and exciting sounds. Now, the festival has undeniably undergone an evolution that has stirred varied opinions among locals and beyond, particularly regarding event sponsors. So I'll just say that I fully respect those who opted to withdraw from the festival as an act of solidarity with the ongoing devastation in Gaza at the time of the festival and this recording. In the spirit of honoring perspectives, I'm here to amplify the stories and celebrate artists who graced stages throughout the city during this music-centric time of year. Whether they're local legends, newcomers to performing, or established global artists, they all share one thing in common: a desire to connect with audiences. We all have our cherished songs and favorite artists that, if you've been lucky to experience them in person, it can stir emotions and just have you be fully present. Even when exploring the darker or just real themes of life, there's an undeniable undercurrent of joy that permeates the live music experience. In the upcoming segments, you'll delve into the sounds of a select few artists and gain insight into what it means to craft those stirring moments. On this episode, Paradise is owning your stage.
Have you ever been to paradise?
You've just listened to a snippet of Vamonos by Una Cancion Bonita, which was captured during a vibrant live performance in downtown Austin. Front and center, Karely Rincón, the creative force behind Una Cancion Bonita, is dazzling in a red ruffled sheer jacket and black ensemble adorned with cascading ruffles, embodying the festive and feel-good vibe she is effortlessly sharing with her audience. As she winds down with one song and prepares to go into another, she shares her excitement to be in Austin performing for the first time. It's palpable how meaningful this stage is for Karely as she interacts with the crowd.
And it really feels so cool, to be here in this music city too, and to be connecting with a lot of people who love music. So you can come just closer, we can feel each other. So next song is Beso, Armonico.
Una ventana con vista a las estrellas, una sonrisa al despertar, una sala de compases y sirenas, el secreto
Earlier that same day, I had the pleasure of meeting up with Karely, who is originally from Tuxtla Gutierrez, Chiapas, Mexico, and who has lived in Mexico City since 2018. As her band fine-tuned during soundcheck, we delved into Karely's influences and what performing means to her. Karely's passion for music had been brewing at an early age, but it was during her time in San Francisco, California, back in 2017, that she began to carve out the beginnings of her singer-songwriter career.
This is something that I really wanted to do since I was little, since I was 7 years old. I think I remember myself singing and dancing and reading songs since I was little. And then when I became teenager, I just dropped off that dream because my insecurities. I studied like 4 careers because I wasn't happy on any of them until I finished marketing. And then I was still unhappy because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just trying to find something that is gonna make me rich or it's gonna make me make money. And I've done a lot of stuff and I still have no money. So, and then I was living in San Francisco at that time. And then I really loved going to concerts, and when I was living there, I was going to concerts a lot. And then I just found out inspiration in all those artists, independent artists that I saw there. And then I had like a creative block during a few years. But when I started to go into concerts in San Francisco, I found out that the lyrics that those artists wrote were also very similar about what I was doing. So that's when I found out that I wasn't that bad as I thought. And that because actually I found one moment of my life, it was like, oh no, I don't even write very well. So why I should do this, or why I should show what I do if it's not really good enough. And then when I started to go in concerts there, I started to put in attention on those lyrics of the other artists that I really like to. And I was like, I think there is something that I can bring out to. So everything started like that. So my inspiration was definitely other artists. One of the artists that I'm going to mention at this moment is Phil Meddy. He's from the Bay Area and he's really doing amazing right now. You know, Khalid, when he was starting, it was like, wow, he's amazing, and like one of the artists that inspired me in that time to start my path. Those were my inspiration to start in that time, but definitely my music is Latin alternative pop. I got inspiration on artists like Julieta Venegas, Carla Morrison. When I saw Carla Morrison live in San Francisco, for me was like, wow, like she is amazing, and definitely she is one of my inspiration in this industry. Also, not just in the music or what I write, but in the industry too. As an independent artist and woman in this industry, I definitely can say that she's one of the biggest inspirations I have. Natalia Furcade also, since she was singing in el 2000, definitely when I was a teenager, she was one of my inspirations in that time. Juan Gabriel also is my favorite artist. Manu Chao, also my sons had a lot of Manu Chao because he's someone that I listen a lot. Lily Allen also. My music is definitely Latin pop alternative, where I mix reggae, pop, synths, rock also. Something that I decided when I started with this project is that I was going to have fun. You know, just there are some artists and I really respect their career and their decisions about doing, you know, just going on one straight line and that everything has to be like perfect, and you know, like they decided to do like their career or their music like that. For me, when I started, I was like, I just want to have fun. I don't know what I'm doing, but I think I look awesome doing it. So that was one of the things that I decided to do when I started. I think that brought me here, just having fun and enjoying what I do.
Before Karely goes off to do the sound check with her band, she leaves us with the meaning of her music.
Empower women, you know, like do whatever you want. It doesn't matter, because in some point of my life I was like, oh, I'm not beauty enough. I'm not have the perfect body enough to be on stage. I don't sing very well. You know, like I was all the time putting some pressure on me, the pressure that society expects from a woman. Just like for me, it's empower women to love yourself a lot. There are a few songs, or most of my songs actually talk about self-love. And it might be like, you might listened to the music and was like, oh, she wrote that for a man or something like that. But most of my songs actually are something that I'm singing to me.
Thank you once again to Una Cancion Bonita. If you would like to listen to the full versions of Vamonos and Beso, Armonico, you will find the links in the show notes, along with all the other information on how to support and listen. Next up, let's switch gears. I find myself at an unofficial South by event on East 7th Street, basking in a partly cloudy afternoon at the Happy Cactus Apothecary, a local CBD shop. The atmosphere is laid back and easygoing, with folks meandering in, greeted by local vendors offering tattoos, prints, vintage clothing, and artisan jewelry. Meanwhile, on stage, the 5-piece Texas-based rock band, Retro Cowgirl, is transporting me with their commanding presence. Their concoction of guitar riffs, dynamic drums, and soul-stirring vocals fills the air. The lineup boasts the talents of lyricist and lead vocalist Julia, also known as Lucky Steele, lead guitarist Luis Fialos, rhythm guitarist Salvatore Sisa, bassist Gabe Jimenez, and drummer Gianluca Biagini. After their electrifying set, I had the chance to chat with Lucky, Gabe, and Gianluca.
My name is Lucky Steele. I sing.
Hi, I'm Gabe. I play bass.
My name is Gianluca. I'm the drums.
We delved into the roots of the band, their collaborative songwriting and production methods, their influences, and the impact of this creative outlet on them and their audience.
It's been a while since me and Luis, our lead guitarist, met and started playing. We originally had this project called the Jukebox Breakers, and that was in the Bay Area in California, and that fell through at some point because we were both going to college, we were working, it was so busy. And then during COVID, we started playing together again. So he texted me randomly one day, and it's like, I don't know if I have the pipes anymore, but we got back into it and we were writing a lot. And then randomly he dropped this huge bomb on me. He's like, I'm moving to San Antonio with my fiance and I'm gonna keep working at the bank. And I was like, are you gonna keep doing music? He's like, yeah, heck yeah, I'm gonna keep doing. I was like, you're not gonna keep doing music. You don't have me with. No, I'm just kidding. No, I was like, well, I want to go somewhere new too. Like, that sounds awesome. And I really want to continue this project. He was like, yeah, like you should move too. So I moved after I graduated, and ever since then we've auditioned some players. Gianluca met us.
That was a Craigslist ad.
Yeah, basically, honestly.
Yeah, I've been here ever since. Live laughing and loving.
And then Gabe, he joined recently.
Yeah, I just kind of showed up one day, and they haven't asked me to go home. Here we are. So yeah, pretty great.
He's really cool, so we like him.
Honestly, he was covering for our old bassist, and then we were like, oh my god, we love you so much. Keep him. Don't leave us.
Some of the songs we play were when Lucky and Luis were just writing together. These days, though, we just kind of start fiddling, and then we find something we like, and then we're like, maybe it's genius, maybe it's garbage, but we're just going to keep working on it. And so Roots was one of those things. They brought an idea, they being Luis and Julia, and they brought it along, and we just fleshed it out from there.
We have like a really collaborative writing process. It's not just like me and one other person, and like also everyone has a say in like certain things of different instruments every now and then. So yeah, I feel like we're just like able to express our creativity together, and it's a really good experience, and everybody just brings their own flavors to it and experiences, and it just sounds great, I think.
I feel like the reason everything kind of has like these different like influences like disco and Latin is because it all just like melds together, and then we make it sound badass.
I used to be so into like indie alternative. I have listened to like the entire discography of The Strokes, and when I was in high school it was like all Animal Collective, Lana Del Rey, and Grimes and stuff like that. But nowadays, like, these guys put me on so many new artists, and I love like the Black Pumas, and you know, I love Michael Kiwanuka, and there's just so many like softer artists that just embrace like that acoustic sound that I really love.
Like a lot of old man music, but then I also have like a weird like fetish for dark wave electronic music. So like EDM was a big thing, drum and bass. Recently just found this old 70s Chicago star named Baby Huey and the Babysitters. Go check him out if you haven't heard of him. Great music. But yeah, it just kind of spans between those two.
And so all of this kind of goes into the pot when you're discussing ideas.
It's like a stew for sure.
What about you, Gabe?
I'm an indie head at heart. I love Honey and Wallows and all those LA bands.
For me, the joy comes from seeing music through as one part. It's the discipline and the organization required to do it. I think it's fun. And then the other part is it's very meditative to express yourself like that. It's a very in the moment act, and I value that a lot. At the end of the day, my personal goal is just to make people dance. You know, it's not really about the money or like the applause or whatever. Like, I love to make people dance, but as a band, I believe our mission is to continue writing, continue releasing, and to create a large audience and community just around our music.
Yeah, my mom always told me when I was growing up, because she was an opera singer, that you do it for the one. Even if one person shows up to your show, you're performing for that person and you're making an impact on their life. Like, that has always just really stuck with me, and I live by that for sure with performing.
Absolutely the same. If you're playing in front of somebody, you have the privilege to like express yourself and make a difference in their life. You may not think it, but like you actually mean a lot more to them than you think. So like give it your all. That's what I do in every show.
You can find more info on Retro Cowgirl at retrocowgirlband.com and have linked the full versions in the show notes of the songs featured in this segment, Stronger and Roots. Make sure to listen and share. Closing out this episode is a dynamic rapper clad in red, whose electrifying performance left me and the entire crowd buzzing with excitement.
Hey, my name is Tracy de Sa. I'm a rapper. I'm based in Paris, but I'm actually Indian. But I grew up in Spain, but I have Portuguese nationality. It's a long story, but I rap in English, Spanish, and French. And I'm here at South by Southwest to do my first international showcase. So I'm really excited. It's my first time here.
You'll hear it for yourself, the energy that Tracy exudes, as the audience rallies behind her, chanting along before she unleashes her talent over the beat.
Is that when I say pussy, you say power. Pussy, power. Pussy, power. Pussy, power. Pussy, power. Did you hear that? What is that? After tonight, you're all gonna become the pussy whisperers. Let's go.
After her set, Tracy and I step outside the Cuatro Gato venue on West 4th Street, both of us still riding the high of what we just experienced. We dive into her journey from not even considering herself a rapper to becoming a captivating performer with a powerful message.
That was insane. Like, you really brought the energy. I just love the end with just everyone yelling pussy power when you're walking up the stage. I mean, iconic. So you can give us more of an insight into the vision for your music, because what you left on the stage says a lot, but I would love to hear it from you. Yeah, so I think my music is infused with all the influences that I had growing up. I also have a master's degree in gender studies, so I actually studied feminism. And when I started doing rap 12 years ago, I was the only girl out there. So everybody kept on reminding me that I was a woman and I wasn't going to be able to do certain things and I was going to have obstacles or whatever. So I'm like, okay, if you guys think that being a woman is an obstacle, then I'm going to just put it in your face. That's why my logo is a vulva. I sing about pussy power. I do a lot of things, a lot of events and like podcasts to empower other women, because it's really important for us to stick together. And yeah, I mean, pussy power is a universal message. It's not specific to one country. We need to keep on growing together. We're far from reaching equality, and music is a great way, especially hip hop, is a great way to convey that message.
And if you need another glimpse into Tracy de Sa,
as you can see, red is my color. It's an amazing fit. For those that can't see, what are you wearing right now? I'm actually wearing a handmade corset with 3 titties. It's a little hint to the name of my 3rd album, but I can't tell you yet what it is. Okay, we'll have to look out for that. What spoke to you about the genre, or like what brought you to this place where you're the artist that you are now? Well, you know what? I actually got into hip hop through dance. So when I was growing up in Spain, I used to be part of like a dance crew. So we did like street shows and battles and all of that. And then when I moved to France in 2011, I went to a small city called Montpellier. And the rappers and the dancers used to hang out. And so many guys would come up to me and they'd be like, "Are you a rapper?" And I'm like, "No, I just dance." And they're like, "No, but I've been watching you. You know all the lyrics. You should try and write." And at that point, I was like, "No, I don't have anything to say. My story is boring. Like, who wants to hear about my life?" And then I was like, yeah, but you know what? There aren't a lot of narratives like mine out there. So maybe I do need to start putting words on what I've been through and putting it out there. And doing that at the beginning as a brown immigrant woman was really hard. But I felt like you got to open up the way. You got to do something for us to be heard and seen. Like, we can't go our whole lives being invisible. And hip-hop was like the safe space for me to do that. I think finding your safe space and your happy place is super important. I feel like the stage is my happy place. It's the only place in the world where I go up there, I can do whatever I want, I can be whoever I want, and I get applauded for that. I get celebrated for that. That's never happened to me before. Like, people always looking at me, they always look at me weird. When I used to go to school, I had like Indian food. They would be like, "Oh, that smells weird." You know, you're always like the outcast. People don't get you, and then you go on stage, and then people are there to watch you and listen to you. That's like the biggest gift that life could give me.
Once again, that was Tracy de Sa. You can catch the full version of Kitty Cat featured in this segment, linked in the show notes, along with all of Tracy's channels. Thank you so much to all the artists who participated on this episode of the Paradise City podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating, subscribe, and follow wherever you listen to the podcast. You can find the social media info and websites for Una Cancion Bonita, Retro Cowgirl, and Tracy de Sa in the show notes. Be sure to support these artists with your follows, streams, and purchases of music and merch. For more info on the podcast, go to paradisecitypodcast.com and follow us on Instagram, X, and Patreon. Once again, I'm Silvia. Thank you for listening. Until next time.
Have you ever been to paradise?